Hello, my fellow viewers. This is the Positive Film Buff giving you the fifth part of my vacation to Walt Disney World. And this time, this part's gonna be a little bit different. I'm taking you out of the Disney magic for this video to talk about my experiences with a different kind of magic. 1 hour away from Disney. In the past few days of my time at Disney, I've experienced a lot of fabulous magic, experiencing a lot of incredible experiences and making some new pals in the process. In between those Disney days, there's a rest day, where we spent those days hanging out at the hotel, eating some food at the restaurant, playing some games in some areas, and watching countless TV all day and all night. The rest day after our day at Disney Hollywood Studios, however, was anything but a rest day. June 8th was a day that successfully blasted us off to outer space. Literally. In simple words, we went to another huge attraction located in Orlando, Florida, the Kennedy Space Center. Going to a place like that sounded like a lot of amazing fun for me, as I myself was a big fan of several space movies I've watched in recent times, from Interstellar to The Martian. I believe my true love for space adventure movies began to grow when I saw Hubble 3D at the IMAX theater in Sydney. And I'll acknowledge the elephant in the room for those of you that have heard of the Kennedy Space Center before. Yes, there is an IMAX theater there, although we didn't go visit that. However, with or without the IMAX theater there, going to a place that is practically owned by NASA, the one which has been responsible for a lot of magnificent achievements involving space exploration, you can bet your butt that the Kennedy Space Center was gonna be an amazing place to visit and experience. Our day at the Kennedy Space Center was amazing, alright, as I was practically setting foot in the real, living, breathing world of NASA itself. Through all its various attractions, ranging from museums, galleries, shops, bus tours, and other experiences, including one mind-blowing walk-around area which contained a voiceover from Oscar-winning actor Tom Hanks, we practically became space explorers ourselves, discovering lots of interesting facts and learning about several of NASA's famous missions. Some of those NASA missions I did have some knowledge about, including the Space Shuttle Atlantis' final mission to fix the Hubble Space Telescope in 2009, and the Mars Exploration Roving mission, which began with the launch of 2 rovers, Spirit and Opportunity. By the way, seeing those 2 rovers at that Mars exhibit had got me to wanting to check out Disney's IMAX movie which talked about the actual roving mission to Mars, titled Roving Mars, and I did check it out a few months after I got home. As I was saying, throughout our whole magnificent trip around the center, we learned a lot of groundbreaking achievements made by NASA, but I also learned about some of the tragedies that occurred in those old days, including the horrific Apollo 1 explosion which killed 3 astronauts. Nearly every single event and mission that occurred in the old days of NASA, whether a success or a failure, had not been left out for all the visiting guests, including us, to see and learn about at the center. My favorite part of the day, though, was visiting an attraction that allowed us to partake in the full experience of a legendary space mission that changed the whole world forever, the launch of the Saturn V rocket of Apollo 8. This legendary event was quite literally brought to life in front of our eyes, just with the magnificent recreation of the mission's control room and some screens capturing some footage of the actual mission. With just those simple techniques, plus a glorious museum that shows off the rocket and many of its features, the whole launch of Saturn V is shown so amazingly, and really makes us look like we were among one of the luckiest ones who have been able to witness this unforgettable moment. In all honesty, I cannot remember all the events that we experienced at the Kennedy Space Center, and maybe it's because I only remember one thing about it. Going to the Kennedy Space Center was a huge blast. Discovering the whole world of NASA and its lifelong goal of achieving many opportunities in space exploration. That alone was also an unforgettable and magical experience on this vacation. And one more thing, the whole experience not only encouraged me to check out Roving Mars, the movie, but it also encouraged me to watch two other big space adventure movies. One was the 1983 classic, The Right Stuff, and the other was the most latest film in the genre, First Man. I may not remember all of it, but I do still remember that the Kennedy Space Center was a marvelous place to blast off to. I guess the lesson to be learned here is that in between my Disney days, we partook in a lot of rest days, and our experience at the Kennedy Space Center was quite possibly the best rest day of the vacation. After my trip to the stars, it was high time to head back to Earth and back to Disney World. What else could Disney World give us once we landed back to the ground the next day? Stay tuned.